Live, and here it is, 3, 2, 1. Looks like we are live. Hey, Internet friends, this is MagicBrad, Synergy Cafe, and I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, and I have a guest that's in my hometown in Minneapolis. Her name is Chee Vue, and that's her. She's from Minneapolis, I think the southwest area. I think you're down in Burnsville. Chee, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Are you from Burnsville or Eden Prairie?
I am actually from Brooklyn Park.
Brooklyn Park? What did I get? That's the opposite. That's the north side. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Burnsville is, there's a center there that I'll be doing my retreat at.
Oh, see, so I'm not totally crazy.
No. No.
Okay. Well, the way I start these out, I just ask some basic questions so people get to know, like, and trust you, and know, like, and trust me, because I believe that video is the best way to get known on the internet. With so that people know that you're a real person. So, first off, who are you? And just tell us a little bit about who Chee is.
Chee, that is my given birth name. My spiritual name is PaLiChi. And I've been practicing shamanic healing for the last 8.5 years here. I've come from a lineage of shamans and ancient ancestors of shamans. My practice specifically has not been taught to me by a sifu or a teacher, but given to me naturally through my spirit guides, and I've been guided that way all my path that I've been in my spirituality. And Chee, I am a shamanic healer and a psychic medium here in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Originally had grown up in California in the Central Valley, and has been through so many experiences and changes. And I guess my next goal, or my next lookout into the horizon is expanding and expansion and growing like everybody else in my shamanic.
So that sort of got into the what already, and then the where. It sounds like you are expanding. When you say expanding, I'm assuming that you're kind of going more internet-based, so you can get a broader reach. Is that
internet, out locally, nationally, internationally. I've had different requests and healings, international calls. You've got some places like France and Africa that has called me on that as well. So and some Australia calls as well. So I've had different healings out there. You've got Thailand out there as well. So
wow.
We've had many different interactions with different people of all walks of life. That's the saying that goes. We've got people locally, many from various faiths that has come to me for healing, and I get the question all the time, well, is that going to interfere? Is your healing rituals and modalities going to interfere with my faith? And I always say, well, it's a spirituality, it's not a religion. It's a healing, it's not a religion. And who do you call on when you are sick and when you're ill and when you need help? Well, obviously it's either your mom, dad, brother, sister, or God himself, or an ultimate higher being or a higher source. And that is what I work with.
Sure. Well, that answers the where and a little bit more of the what. And that's what's fascinating to me about the internet, to be able to make these connections from, like, I talk with people in Australia also, and Thailand and the UK, and just connected with someone from Amsterdam, and the Netherlands, and it's fascinating that this type of work that you do can be done remotely, and it can also be done where you make that relationship and develop that bond, and then you can meet physically. You can maybe do a retreat in, I love Bali. I talk about Bali all the time because it's such a peaceful place. Or do a retreat in Hawaii or things of that sort. So we can make these internet connections And it's what Synergy Cafe is about. It's about a rising tide lifts all boats, where everybody participates, and it does not matter what your faith is or your belief or religion or whatever. So I'm resonating with you, so to speak. I get what you're talking about. And then the next question I always like to ask is, why do you do this? Do you do it because there's good money in it? Do you do it because someone told you to? Or how come you don't have like a regular job like everybody else?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. I do it because it's a passionate piece that comes out through the calling. And when I say the calling, it's a calling from the spirit guides or from the ancestors or from the God himself. I have no choice, Brad, really. You know, this type of work, it's a calling. It's calling me to do it. There's an urgency all the time in the feeling when you do the work. An urgency to, you know, heal, an urgency to bring in that healing for people, for myself, for people, for family. Everybody that comes into my path, there's a calling. And I always say this to the ones that I meet, even in networking, even if it has to do with business, it's always a calling, because we always end up, at the end of the day, the person needs healing of some sort. That's why they've come into my path.
I totally get it. I was just, I did another hangout with another shaman over in Australia. His name is Darren Maxwell, and I asked him this same question, the why question, and he said, it isn't me, I've been called to do it. So I don't have a choice of what it is that I'm doing. And I don't know if you knew, but my wife also is a shaman. She trained with Peruvian type shamanism, and the same kind of thing. It isn't something that someone read a book and said, you're supposed to do this. It was a calling from a higher source. And I pretty much understand what you're talking about. I don't know if the viewers that are watching this now quite understand it, because some people are in specific organizations, or they read certain books, or they're certified in a certain practice or something, so they follow those rules. But I think what you're talking about is something comes in where you've got a meeting, and all of a sudden you got to drop the meeting because something called you to go to a networking event, and you meet the right person at that specific time, and you don't know why, you just do it, right?
You just do it because you feel this urgency to either connect or to heal or to manifest for or to shift. And that is the calling, and there is no choice. You know, you can wake up in the middle of the night at 2:30 a.m. and have to do a cleansing of a home. And so there's so many things that can happen on an urgency basis and an unexpected basis that you have to deal with, and that is the work of a shaman. To live as a shaman, now I am not living traditionally as a shaman totally, okay, I will admit that, because of so many new age or new technological type of things. I'm doing this with you. A typical shaman would not do a video call. And I would say, like my mother, she's a shaman herself. There's so many fastings. There's so many foods that you can't eat as a shaman. There's so many things that you have to say you can't do, or you can't do this, you can't do that. And people don't understand. And people some people are very stereotypical, or would be having so many. A shaman has to deal with so many things, as what I'm saying. And
I'll bet there's like a new shamanism that's coming into play too, because the ancient shamans didn't have video cameras and things of this sort to be able to make these connections. So there's a new wave of shamanism coming in, where people like you and others are using technology to be able to do what needs to be done. So it's a different type of shamanism.
And we are allowed to. We are allowed to, because it is most vastly used. And it's what is most valuable to people at this time that is going to be the most important that you can adapt to. An ancient shaman would not be able to adapt to this.
Sure, I can see how if someone for some reason needed some kind of connection and that person was over in, I don't know, we'll say Bali, and they needed to connect with me in Asheville, we can't make that connection or that communication because we're so far apart. But we could then connect on the internet like this, and I could find out that this person resonated, and I need to go to Bali or they need to come over to Asheville, and we need to make an actual connection. So technology is wonderful. I love this kind of stuff. The things that with the Synergy Cafe, it deals in 5 different areas of career, finance, relationships, spirituality, and wellness. And what you're talking about is more in the wellness and the spirituality realm, but it does overlap into things like career. Maybe someone's got a career as a CEO, and it's just not resonating for them anymore, and they can't figure it out. So they might connect with you and find out that they have a higher calling than making a bunch of money for a large corporation. They might unplug from that, and their finances will change, and they'll have a different relationship with somebody else for some other reason. So fascinating. I love all this stuff.
Yes, they'll get. It's like a CEO getting a calling to stop making all that money, because all that money is encouraging greed, is encouraging selfishness, and
or it's making the money for a different purpose.
For a different purpose.
Still make the millions and millions of dollars, but maybe it's for a whole nother purpose.
Right.
And my belief is there's nothing evil about money. It's just paper and it's energy, and it's how it's used.
Yes, yes, it is within the heart.
I know that a lot of people in the healing and the holistic community, they kind of look at it being evil, making money, because you're hoarding all this money and you're using this money. No. And the reality is, if you make enough money, you can really change the world significantly. Right. I mean,
that's right.
Mother Teresa said something about that too. She's not living too bad, you know, that kind of thing.
It's not a evil thing. It's how you make it that is the thing.
Yeah. And then what you do with it once you got it.
Yes.
Money is just a byproduct of work, and work is just expending energy, and it's how you utilize it.
Yeah.
Like some of the money they spend on all these bombs that they drop on countries and blow a bunch of people up, and that's ridiculous. What if you spent that same money on food and coffee? I like coffee, and I like going to movies. So what if you spent all that money on coffee, movies, and chocolate?
That's right. World. That's right. That's right. There's many other things that can be done. It's just how the person uses it. And again, like what you said, it's how you utilize it. It's not actually evil in its energy, but it is in the person and that energy that is involved during the use of that is either evil or good.
Yeah, and that's a matter of shifting that its intention and its purpose. It looks like we got plenty of time here, but I like to keep these videos kind of short so people don't get too involved in watching the video. And if, like you and a viewer needs to make a connection, you can get it done, because I put those links on the videos and things. So what if there's anything specific you might want to share with what you do, if you've got any events coming up? I love events because people get to meet people, and it gets the online chatter into real life activity kind of thing. So if you got anything coming up you want to share?
Yes, I actually have an event coming up on next week. It is going to be, unfortunate, in Minnesota.
That's not unfortunate. That's a good thing. That Minnesota's a good spot.
that there's others that may want to come from different states that may not be able to, or they may be. I'm not sure. But it's going to be at my office, my healing office in Brooklyn Center here in Minnesota, and it's the 2-hour class or workshop of abundance meditation with me. We'll be doing a 2-hour workshop on that, and doing the interactive portion, and then the healing portion and the manifestation portion on abundance for all areas in your life. So there's that coming up on the 17th of July from 7 to 9 p.m. at night. And I have gotten requests to do that through Skype as well, or through internet means, but I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that yet. So as a shaman. And I probably will not do that for a little bit, but this time it's going to be in person, mostly likely. And then I have another event coming up in actually, I'm working on right now an event with my students. I have a couple students in the Awakening Path course. It's a 6 classes course, beginners to intermediate course. It'll be what I would call the second course with me if you're going on your spiritual journey. And if you want to awaken spirit guides or awaken your spirituality to open up to intuitive abilities and also connecting with angels or whomever and whatever higher sources that you can connect to, that is the class for you, the Awakening Path Course 1. I have also a retreat coming up in August 23rd, on August 23rd from 9 to 3:30 p.m. in Minnesota. This is going to be in Burnsville at the Metamorphosis Center. You can look that up on my website for more information. That'll be a soul cleansing retreat 1 day with me, learning so many things about spirits, your spirits, the spirits that surround you, higher spirits in a higher realm, and why these things exist and why they are very real to us, and why we should feel an urgency or an importance and significance in those spirits, to know them and to know that they exist. And then a higher ritual in that as well. So there's that coming up. And then so many community ed classes that I'm doing in the fall as well.
Okay, well that's always good to know. And you know, when you said it's in Minnesota, so some people might not be able to attend. My mind kind of goes out. I mean, you never know if someone in Dubai that has their own private jet might see this video and go, you know, I got to get over there, and they jump in the plane and show up. So you never know what's going to happen. I live in Asheville, like I said, and some very strange things have happened here as far as coincidentally and serendipitously happening. So don't put any limitations on that belief thing. I'm a magician. I can make anything happen.
I don't put the limitations on there, but I'm very modest, Brad. So I will only say
that's why you don't want to put up the camera, because people might see you.
I would only say it that way, but yes, it's very open to anybody.
Yes,
the reason why the retreat came in is because there was requests from other people outside of Minnesota, but I'm doing it in Minnesota because I live here. So
exactly. So those options open. You may be.
If there's a need, if there is a need for healing, people will come.
And you will go, I'll bet.
And I will go.
Okay, I'm going to shut this one down, and then we can I can put it out to the internet and propagate it around the social media and things of that sort. And then you and I can talk a little bit later after this. So I appreciate you taking the time, and thank you very much for being on Synergy Cafe, and where Yin meets Yang and Seeker meets Seer. So peace, love, and happiness. People signing off. Thank you, Chee.
Yes, namaste.